Every year we create our recommended builds for you guys, and today we bring to you the Anchor Popper. As you can see, this center build can hold down the paint with ease thanks to Hall of Fame Anchor, which makes opposing players think twice about challenging you under the rim. Now, blocks are very easy to come by on this build, whether you're in the interior or chasing the ball handler down, and even on the perimeter, as this guy gets absolutely swatted with max wingspan and the closeout ability of this build. Speaking of wingspan, steals are also fairly easy to get, and this build can do just about everything well, especially on defense. Of course, this is a popper and can help your team stretch the floor, so it becomes a viable threat in the pick and pop game and has enough 3-point rating to be a knockdown shooter. Leaving you open will definitely be a mistake. Now, the inside game is very well rounded, and this build has the ability to finish with finesse and close shot, or finish with power in a contact dunk. Not to mention, this build also gets quick drops, which is still the most powerful dunk package in the game. Now, if you're looking for a center build that can do it all with virtually no weaknesses, then we at NBA 2K Lab have the build for you. Now, if you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, and let's get right into it. Now, before we get started, make sure to like the video, and if we get this video to 2,000 likes, I'll release my personal 6'9" build that I've been using for all of Season 1. For starters, we're obviously making a center, and this build is going to be 7 feet tall with a weight of 235 pounds, which gives us solid speed, but also unlocks that 99 offensive rebound. And for wingspan, we went with 7'10", which is maxed out and is going to provide us with even better defense. Now, we're going to start with finishing, and when it comes to close shot, this is a very important attribute to have, and it just gives an overall better chance to finish around the rim, which is obviously very ideal for bigs. We're going to an 85 close shot rating for Gold Fast Twitch, and Gold Fast Twitch is going to make your standing layups and standing dunk animations under the rim about 15% faster than having no badge, which is a significant boost when trying to beat your defender. Now, at an 84 close shot, you also unlock Gold Fearless, which is a great finishing badge to equip on this build, and that 85 rating just seems like a good spot in general. You're able to finish over smaller defenders with ease because of your height, and with good timing, you'll have a great chance to beat taller defenders because of your rating and badges. Next, we have driving layup, and you won't be taking many of these, as dunks and close shot will be your primary option for scoring, so we're going to a 63 strictly for that extra badge point. For driving dunk, we're going to an 80, and this is going to give us quick drops off one, which, as we all know, is still the most busted dunk package in the game. So simple yet so unblockable, and having that on a 7-footer is honestly just unfair. Now, for standing dunk, we're going to an 80 rating, which is going to give us the silver rise up badge, and of course the pro big man contact dunks. Don't forget that 65 vertical. Next, we have post control, and while we have solid finishing, we don't have many badge points. We put post control to a 52 for that extra badge point, which will give us 17 to unlock our gold tier 3 badges. Now, once you core Gold Fast Twitch, that's going to be 7 badge points. You'll then have access to a second tier 3 badge, which is going to make you an even better finisher. 17 badge points seems like enough. Moving on to shooting, and for this build to be an effective outside shooter, we'll need the badges to go with it. So while we don't care much about the mid range, we need the badge points to unlock our tier 3 badges. So we're raising this to a 73, and when we max out our 3-point rating to a 79, we have a total of 17 badges, which is more than enough to get the badges that you'll need. Not to mention, we tested the catch and shoot badge, and on silver it seemed to be very effective and very similar to the gold level. So if you're on the fence because you wanted gold catch and shoot on your popper, you can breathe a sigh of relief knowing it's really not that much better. Free throws are generally pretty easy, and a 66 rating should be plenty to hit consistently. If you wanted more, this is the cheapest attribute to increase, so there's definitely ways to do that. Now, next we have our playmaking, and we're not investing too much here as we play our role as a big man, but we definitely want our pass accuracy high enough to throw decent passes, so we're going to bump this to a 76, which unlocks gold break starter, and even at 75 you unlock LeBron passing style, which is one of the fastest passing styles in the game. Now, the ball handle increases with pass accuracy, so that's why it's at a 41, and we're not touching speed with ball as we're leaving that up to the point guard. So not much for playmaking, but we still get all of the animations and the badges that we need. For defense, this is the bread and butter of this build, and for interior defense, we're not going extremely high, and you get a badge point at 78, but this rating actually is capped with our block rating, which is a 99 for that Hall of Fame Anchor. So while we don't have crazy high interior defense rating, our paint defense is still going to be insane because of this Hall of Fame Anchor badge. And as you can see by this graphic, the make percentage drops drastically at the Hall of Fame level, which is why this badge is absolutely necessary on a center at the highest level if you want to lock down the paint. When it comes to our perimeter defense, it's not the most important attribute, but it is very nice to have to help boost your contest, especially in situations where you're forced to switch on to a smaller guard. Now, if you don't care for the extra perimeter defense, you can actually lower this to 54 and keep the badge point, and if you do this, it'll allow you to gain 1 more speed and excel if you prefer better physicals. For steel, it's tough to get a high enough rating to get the better badge levels, but with a 61 rating, you gain an extra defensive badge point, and just having a slightly higher rating in general will allow you to get your hands on more deflections and interceptions, especially having a max wingspan of 7'10". Now, another awesome part of this build is that we're going to give it a 99 offensive rebounding, which is obviously insane in itself, and that of course gives us the Hall of Fame Rebound Chaser badge, and this badge is going to make the life of a big man a whole lot easier, especially against those 7'3" centers. Maxing our offensive rebounding gives us 84 defensive rebound by default, and if you increase defensive rebounding by just 1 more point, you get that extra badge point. Some people may see 85 and ask if that's enough, and I promise you it is plenty. The reason why we increased our offensive rebound over our defensive rebounding is 1, because offensive is cheaper to upgrade for some reason, and 2, because O boards are much harder to get, so why not have an extremely high rating to offset that. Now that's going to give us 29 defensive badges total, which is a good amount, but I feel like you can never have enough defensive badges, especially on a center, so you may want to consider putting your extra +4 all into defense. Of course, that's all up to you, but that's just our recommendation. For physicals, we made sure our center was well-rounded in each category and gave our player a 71 speed, which is almost max, and a 71 speed on a 7-footer is actually very quick. Now our acceleration goes to a 56, which was raised with our speed, and for strength we went with a 77, which was as high as we could get it considering everything else the build gets, and we didn't want to ignore this category, so it took a while to find just the right amount of strength to be effective, so we went with a 77. Now for the pro big man contacts, you need a 65 vertical at least, but we went with a 70 to help slightly with those rebounds, and lastly we have an 86 stamina, which was whatever was left of the attributes. Now the 86 stamina will be plenty, especially if you're not handling the ball. Overall, this is a defensive minded popper build that also has the ability to finish under the rim effectively. We tried to find all the best thresholds for every attribute and prioritize what was needed the most when it comes to a center build. The badge count on this build is almost perfect, and with the extra +4 badges, you should be able to get just about everything you need. Now that is all we got for our recommended center build video. If this video helped, be sure to leave a like, and if you're watching right now, comment defense or popper down below to let me know you watched the whole video through. It's been Spill, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Later.